it is fascinating to me to watch people with their kind of pre-stage exercises. And what's kind of funny is the higher, or the people that have been around the longest, put it that way, or get paid the most to speak from stage, or make the most of speaking from stage, tend to have the most rituals before going on stage, has been my notice.
Yeah, it's management, right? The energy may never go away. It most likely won't, as we're experiencing and hearing. So how do you manage that? How do you use it and rechannel it to your best ability? And you can go on stage, and having an acute awareness about your feelings, your emotions, the sensations. You have an opportunity, as Mark said, with the breath. We coach you on using the breath to autocorrect at any point of any conversation. And we believe, by the way, every presentation, every interview, every pitch, everything you're on a podium, everywhere you're speaking on a podium is a conversation. And again, if you approach it from that point of view, you're working all together. You're not talking at people. That takes a lot of pressure off, actually.
Nice. I love that. Well, and I remember an interview once with Robin Williams, and I think his most famous one was Robin Williams at the Met, where he's just running around the auditorium. I don't know, it's great, and it was great how he just used that energy to be able to go in. And by this time, he was like 20, 30 years into his career. Like, he had made it. Like, he was at the pinnacle. There was no need to kind of stop there. And certainly he didn't, but he knew how to use it well. But I'm imagining that there are times when, you can't just run around the Met when you're doing a talk with somebody, especially if you're doing corporate, or if you're doing an IPO, or, somewhere where people are expecting you to be a quote unquote, a little more professional. So talk to me about that.
That makes me crazy. That makes me crazy.
Excellent.
Don't start with me on professional,
I'm starting
with air quotes. I mean, we are who we are,
Right?
It's like, I think there's appropriate environments for things, but I would hope that any interview, any job you're interviewing for, or anytime you're speaking at a conference, they would want you to show up. That's what we loved about Steve Jobs. He was himself there. And that was one of the largest companies in tech at the time. So nobody gets more corporate than that. And he was himself. He dressed down, but it was more about how he showed up. And people loved that. That's what built that company. When you show up as a perfect CEO, in the air quotes, people tend to not trust you as much. You're reading from a script, or something's there, but it's not authentic.